what is the very latest behind this new lawsuit?
So Meng Wanzhou has sued Canada, saying that they unlawfully detained her and searched her. And this is a pretty interesting case because they're saying that when she was in Vancouver, they should have actually immediately arrested her, so she would have been granted her legal privileges. Instead, she's alleging that the Canada actually used the guise of a custom border patrol searching and used that as a way to detain her and unlawfully search her. And so that is the latest. Now, again, the big news here is that the Chinese government is saying that the two Canadian men who were arrested after Meng Wanzhou was arrested in December are now being accused of spying and stealing state secrets. And one of them was said that he had doing this while working with the International Crisis Group, and that the other man, who was an entrepreneur who ran tours in North Korea, was actually this other man's primary contact and had supplied him with intelligence. So this behavior and the act of the Chinese government is really seen from the perspective of analysts as being upping the ante and really being a retaliatory tactic against what's happening to Meng Wanzhou.
How has Canada responded?
Now, Justin Trudeau has said that he's very disappointed by this and that Canada is going to follow the regular legal proceedings, saying that it's unfortunate China continues to move forward on these arbitrary detentions. Will continue to stand up for these Canadians. Now, Bloomberg had also earlier reported that the Royal Bank of Canada recently told employees to not travel to China and travel there with caution. Now, this comes after a government notice from January 14th urged Canadians to exercise a high degree of caution in China because of these arbitrary enforcements of laws. And now, in addition to the arrest of these two Canadians in China, there's also a man who's facing a potential death sentence over drug trafficking in China.
What's the timeline for this? Do we expect the extradition to proceed? Does it get delayed as a result?
Now, if history shows anything, the expectation is that she will eventually be extradited from Canada to the United States. However, this process is very long, it's very protracted. There's been incidences of this taking as long as a decade. And the length of time that this takes often depends on how much legal power and resources that the person on the other end has. And Meng Wanzhou obviously has a huge amount of financial resources to combat this and make sure that this is a long process, because China is going to do everything they can to make sure that she isn't extradited.
So talk to us about how this fits into the broader trade discussions. Could this set off another diplomatic firestorm?
I think it's fair to say that it's already set off quite a diplomatic firestorm. Now, there are reports from Bloomberg News today, according to sources, that the U.S. and China are actually quite close to reaching a trade deal that could take off all of the tariffs, or most of them, on the several $100 billion of Chinese goods. Now, Trump has said before that he would potentially intervene in this Huawei extradition case to get a good trade deal, because that's what he really cares about. But a lot of critics have said that he should really keep this trade negotiation completely separate from this legal proceeding. But on the other hand, some critics and analysts have noted that this Huawei case is really the biggest bargaining chip he has with China. There's a lot at stake here. In addition to the CFO, there's also a potential ban on all Huawei products in the United States. The future of Huawei and the 5G rollout is at stake here. So there's a lot of questions about how this case may be used in the broader trade negotiations.